So recently there was a leak of Genshin's new 5-star character. Her name is Varesa. And she's supposed to be and I'm gonna use very heavy quotation marks here, a chubby character. You can see from her animation, she's got a cow motif. She's very cute, as all Genshin characters are. They're very appealing, very cute. The clothings are very well designed as well. The hair is also very interesting. But she's supposed to be like this kind of chubby motif. She's like a cow. She likes eating, like in her idol animations, she's like eating like a big ass sandwich as well. She like slams her butt down when she attacks. And again, to be fair, she's very cute. She's animated kind of like Looney Tunes style. And I think that's very cute. As Genshin characters are, they're very appealing. Genshin knows how to do characters. You know what I mean? They're kind of like, we already kind of know. But this has also sparked a lot of discussion. So here's my 2 cents on it. I don't think this is a chubby character. Am I going crazy? That's just not. I know that there have been people like comparing like, oh, she has like a slight body variation. She's a little bit thicker than the other characters that are more on the slimmer side, right? But that's just ain't it. Those are both like skinny characters, and I'm not saying like there's gonna be people yelling at me from the other side saying you want every character to be ugly and fat and hideous. That's not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying. I get that this is a gacha game. I get that you want your characters to be appealing. I get it. You want to make money, right? And you're not gonna have like an ugly character, even though I think that's like a very broad kind of like thing, because people are attracted to more chubby girls. It's not even a hear me out at this point. It's just a thing that people enjoy. People enjoy a comfy, kind of cutesy, chubby girl that they can simp for. People like that. It's not a hear me out. This is not a bold, I'm not doing a bold take here, right? And to say this is that, I just think people are like so used to Genshin doing the bare minimum that people think that this is new and different. That's just not. And again, people like that kind of stuff. I think that it would be positive. Like, again, it is a very fair criticism of Genshin to say like every character of them is the same old cookie cutter made from the same model basis. Yes, they barely never change it. And I get that there's justifications for it. You could make excuse saying like, oh, they can reuse animations. It's the workflow. Let's be honest, it's not really. Especially because there are NPCs that have a more chubby body type. They've taken screenshots, here you go, of like NPCs that have a bit of a more chubby body type. You can make that into the game and you can make it appealing. Again, many people do. I'm gonna use these examples because Twitter, but I'm not calling these characters chubby. But think Mei from Overwatch, think Squirrel Girl from the new Marvel Rivals, right? They're not really chubby. If you look at their in-game models, Mei is just wearing like a pretty heavy coat. But just think of like any art that people make. Just think of like how the people cosplay this kind of stuff. People like these kinds of like chubby girl archetypes. So why just not do it? I get that MiHoYo is a Chinese company. A lot of like these gacha games stem from China, and China just has a very large population. China, I believe, is 17% of the world's population. So usually what they do is they market the game for China, for the beauty standards and the desires of the Chinese population, and then they just marketed it to the rest of the world, right? It's like the same thing with Ito as well, but they were kind of like in the artworks were promising Ito to be like more of a muscular character with like kind of a himbo attitude, and then they really just didn't, right? They just painted some abs on the same old character from like Zhongli or something. And I just think that's a shame because, again, I think the Genshin characters, they're usually very appealing. The clothes are interesting. There's a reason why people love cosplaying them as well, right? So why not just make a different style? Take a bold step and just make something different. I would get if they were a new game and they like just hit it off, went viral, and they were playing it safe to keep the trend going. But it's been years at this point. It's been years. You can afford to take some risks every here and there, right? Especially for like a character that would be perfect for this. Again, she's supposed to be like, oh, I like to eat good. Again, in her idol animation, she's like eating a sandwich, right? She like slams her butt down, and like she's supposed to be this like cutesy, appealing, beautiful, chubby girl, like with a cow motif, you know what I mean? So why not just make it? Why not just take the effort? Why not just make it? Again, she doesn't have to be like, there's discussions to be made on like, you know, health and weight. And I'm not a professional doctor. I've heard from many professional doctors that there's a difference between being healthy and a little bit over the average weight and just being clinically obese. I'm not going to get it. I'm not a doctor. You can look it up. But again, you can be healthy and be a little bit chubby. And there's beauty in that. I think that people would like it. I'm sure there's, plenty of people that are into that kind of stuff. Or you yourself are, you know what I mean? Both for guys and girls as well. So I think it's a shame. I just think it's disappointing, really, in Genshin. And especially because Genshin has been notoriously for making the same old pasty, like, especially from borrowing from African cultures as well and making them white. You could take that opportunity to make it into something different. You could take that opportunity to beat those allegations, right? Or just give the people something new. Like, that ain't it. I'm sure there's people that are gonna like her. I'm not saying shouldn't like her, right? Again, she's very cute. She's very, like, appealing. I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of people that are main her, and I'm sure there's gonna be people that are gonna cosplay her, right? But to call her chubby and say, like, oh, this is Genshin taking a bold step towards, like, making diversity, oh, that ain't it. That is not it. That is not it, right? And again, I think they should. How many years has it been that Genshin has been releasing this? I could not tell you the names of some of these characters that they released because they look like every other Genshin character, right? Like, I can name the different ones. Itoi is one of my favorites. Zhongli, it's also very cool as well. You know what I mean? I like Ganyu, even though Ganyu was also supposed to be a chubby, at least in lore, and in her actual lore. She, I believe, choked a monster that tried to swallow her because her hips were just so wide. I'm sure that was not meant to be chubby. She was just meant to be thick. But, again, why not make this new character dad? And just give it a bit of a chubby go. That would be so cool, right? And there's going to be artists as well doing, like, their own interpretations. And as people are, there's always those kinds of weird Genshin fans. You know who they are. That are going to be complaining on those comments. And I'm not talking about them, right? These people just want something to be mad about. I'm just saying that, what could we had? I'm making this video, well, for the discussion of the body type. I think that is interesting as well. Someone that enjoys character design, right? But also because what we could had, just think about it. You know what I mean? We could have had something cool and they just didn't. So I just think that's disappointing. Anyway, I mean, that was that. I just wanted to talk about that because I thought it would be interesting. What do you guys think? And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys. Take care.